You've probably heard it before. Vegetables need sunlight to grow, right? Well, here's a shocker. That old rule doesn't apply to everything. In fact, there are vegetables out there that actually thrive in the shade. Those darker, less sunny parts of your garden that you've probably been neglecting. Picture this. Those gloomy corners in your backyard, the ones you thought were useless for gardening. What if I told you those are actually perfect spots for growing fresh, healthy veggies? Today, I'm going to show you 12 surprising vegetables that can flourish without the harsh sun. No more wasted space or bare patches. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll be amazed at how your garden can thrive even in the shade. Whether you have a densely wooded backyard or just a small patch of filtered sunlight, you'll soon discover that shade gardening is not only possible, but it can actually be better for certain crops. I get it. You've been told over and over again that shade is the enemy of your garden. But what if I told you that you can grow vegetables in even the darkest, most shaded parts of your garden and have them thrive? I'm here to change the way you look at shade gardening. I'll not only give you a list of 12 surprising veggies that love the shade, but also share with you insider tips on how to make the most of your garden no matter how much sun it gets. Plus, I've got some uncommon gardening tips you won't hear anywhere else. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to plant in your shaded garden spots to maximize growth even in areas you thought were unusable. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more unexpected gardening secrets. All right, let's jump into these 12 vegetables that absolutely love shade. Number 1. Lettuce. Let's kick things off with a classic, lettuce. You might think of it as the vegetable that loves the sun, but here's something most people don't know. Lettuce actually prefers partial shade. That's right, shade helps it grow slower, which means it avoids bolting too quickly. And here's the best part. The slower it grows, the sweeter it becomes. So if you've been growing lettuce in full sun and it always gets bitter, try moving it to a shaded spot. It'll thank you with a crisp, mild flavor. For the best results, keep it well watered. Lettuce loves moisture and thrives in soil rich with organic matter. It's a vegetable that loves consistency, so make sure you keep the soil damp but not soggy. And of course, regular harvesting encourages more tender leaves. Number 2. Spinach. Now, spinach is a vegetable that doesn't just survive in the shade, it thrives. In fact, too much sunlight can cause it to become bitter and tough, but when grown in a shaded area, it stays lush, tender, and sweet. If you've got a shaded corner of your garden, consider it prime real estate for spinach. It loves cool, sheltered spots, making it perfect for those spaces that get little direct sun. Spinach also loves moist soil, so keep it consistently damp, but avoid letting it sit in waterlogged conditions. And don't forget, it's a cool weather crop, so be sure to plant it during spring or fall for the best results. If you're in a warmer area, a bit of shade will protect it from the heat and keep it growing strong. Number 3. Arugula. Arugula, known for its peppery taste, is another vegetable that does surprisingly well in shady spots. While it can tolerate some sun, it's actually in those shadier areas where arugula shines. In partial shade, the peppery flavor becomes milder and more delicate, almost a sweet heat. So if you've ever found your arugula to be too spicy, this might be your solution. For care, keep it slightly moist. Arugula grows quickly, and if left unchecked, it can become leggy and tall. To avoid this, harvest regularly and trim back any flowers, as they can make the flavor more bitter. And remember, arugula loves a light, well-drained soil to keep it happy and healthy. Number 4. Radishes. Let's dive into root vegetables, starting with radishes. We all know how fast radishes can grow, but here's something you might not have realized. They actually grow even faster in the shade. The cooler temperatures help prevent heat stress, allowing them to develop quickly and with less risk of becoming too tough. If you've been planting radishes in full sun and wondering why they don't grow as well, give them a try in a shaded garden. Trust me, they'll appreciate it. Radishes do best in loose, well-drained soil, so make sure the earth around them is light and airy. This helps prevent rot and lets their roots grow freely. And don't forget to water them evenly. Radishes like to stay moist, but not soggy. Number 5. Carrots. Now, carrots might seem like they need full sun to grow, but did you know that they can thrive in partial shade? The secret is in the soil. Carrots need deep soil to spread out their roots, and if you provide that, they'll do just fine in even lower light conditions. Shade helps prevent them from getting too stressed in the heat, which means sweeter, more flavorful carrots. For success, water them evenly, especially in the early stages, to keep the soil consistently moist. One thing to keep in mind, don't overcrowd them. Carrots need space to grow, so thin them out as they sprout. This gives each root plenty of room to develop fully. 6. Beets. Here's a real game changer, beets. While many gardeners think of beets as sun-loving plants, they actually do better in the shade, particularly in warmer climates. When grown in shaded areas, beets grow sweeter, more tender roots. In fact, they're less likely to get woody or tough, something that can often happen when they're exposed to too much sun. Beets prefer consistently moist soil, so make sure to water them regularly, especially during dry spells. And just like with carrots, spacing is key. Beets need room to grow, so give them enough space to spread their roots. This ensures they'll develop into those sweet, flavorful bulbs we all love. 7. Swiss chard. Let's talk about Swiss chard, one of the most underrated vegetables for shady spots. This plant loves partial shade, and it's a true beauty to have in your garden. Swiss chard's vibrant colors, reds, yellows, and oranges, make it a stunning addition, even in the shadier parts of your garden. It's not just a visual treat, the leaves are also large, and they grow well in lower light, creating a lush and vibrant backdrop in those otherwise dull garden corners. But here's the key to keeping your Swiss chard happy. Don't let the soil dry out completely. It loves moisture, so regular watering is a must. While it can tolerate some dryness, consistent moisture helps the plant grow stronger and gives you tender, tasty leaves that will last all season long. 8. Kale. Next up, kale. This powerhouse of nutrients is a favorite for many gardeners. But did you know that kale actually prefers the cooler, shaded spots in your garden? In fact, growing kale in partial shade boosts its nutrient density. Yes, you heard that right. The cooler temperatures slow down the growing process, which actually increases its vitamin content and makes the leaves more tender. To get the best results, give your kale plenty of water, but not too much. Kale doesn't like being soggy, so water deeply, but make sure the soil is well drained. Keep an eye on the leaves, and they'll reward you with nutrient-packed greens all year round. 9. Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts, those little green powerhouses, are another vegetable that actually does better in partial shade than full sun. And here's the trick most gardeners miss. While they can grow in full sun, planting them in shaded spots helps them thrive in cooler temperatures. Shaded gardens reduce heat stress, and Brussels sprouts are less likely to bolt or turn bitter. So if you want sweeter, more flavorful sprouts, a shaded spot might just be the perfect place for them. For optimal growth, plant your Brussels sprouts in late summer for a fall harvest. This timing lets them grow during the cooler months when they're happiest. And don't forget to space them out properly, as they can get quite large and give them plenty of room to develop. Now let's talk cabbage. Cabbage isn't just shade tolerant, it actually thrives in it. The cool, sheltered environment helps produce those crisp, tight heads of cabbage we all love. In fact, cabbage in shady spots tends to have fewer pest problems, especially aphids, because the cooler temperatures are less appealing to the insects that usually invade your cabbage patch. Cabbage prefers slightly acidic soil, so make sure to amend the soil if needed. It also loves well-drained soil, so avoid planting in areas that stay soggy. And if you're planting cabbage in shady conditions, just be patient. It'll grow slower than in full sun, but the results are definitely worth it.
11. Peas. Peas are another vegetable that love the shade, especially in warmer climates. The cooler temperatures in shaded spots help peas set fruit better and prevent them from bolting too quickly. In fact, peas in the shade tend to produce more, and the cooler temperatures help them maintain that sweet flavor we all crave. To keep your peas happy in the shade, be sure to use trellises or supports to keep them off the ground. This prevents the plants from getting weighed down and helps maximize space. Regularly water them, especially during their flowering and pod setting stages, and you'll have a bountiful harvest even in those shady corners. 12. Mustard greens. Finally, we have mustard greens. These spicy, flavorful greens can actually thrive in the shade, but here's the kicker. When grown in lower light conditions, the flavor tends to mellow out. Instead of being too peppery or bitter, The greens become more tender and mild, making them perfect for those who love a softer mustard flavor. To grow mustard greens in the shade, keep them regularly harvested. This not only ensures you get fresh, tender leaves, but it also prevents them from bolting. Those flowers that form can turn the greens bitter. So keep them in check, and you'll be rewarded with a steady supply of mild, peppery greens throughout the growing season. Quick gardening tips. All right, now that we've covered the 12 vegetables that thrive in the shade, I want to share a few bonus tips that will help you get the most out of your shady garden. These tips are game changers and will help you optimize those spaces that don't see much sun. Tip 1. Soil amendments are key. First up, soil amendments. This is crucial in shady gardens. If your garden is shaded for most of the day, the soil tends to be cooler and hold moisture longer, which can lead to poor drainage or even compaction. Adding compost and organic matter is a great way to fix this. Not only does it improve drainage, but it also retains nutrients, critical when your plants aren't getting as much sunlight to fuel their growth. Plus, it keeps the soil light and airy, allowing your plant roots to spread out more freely and access all the nutrients they need. Tip 2. The power of reflective surfaces. Next, don't underestimate the power of reflective surfaces. You might think of shade as being just, well, dark, but there's a trick you can use to make the most of the light you do have: reflection. By using light-colored surfaces like stones, fences, or even mirrors, you can bounce sunlight back into your shaded garden. This simple technique extends the growing hours for your plants and helps them get a little extra light without needing to move them to a sunnier spot. Reflective surfaces work wonders, especially in gardens that get indirect sunlight or just a few hours of sun a day. Tip 3. Mulching for consistency. Finally, let's talk about mulching. In a shady garden, mulching is incredibly important to keep moisture levels consistent. Shaded areas tend to hold moisture for longer periods, which can be a blessing or a curse. The key is using mulch to keep the moisture at an ideal level. Mulch helps insulate the soil, keeping it cooler in the summer and warmer in the winter, and it also prevents moisture from evaporating too quickly. This consistency is vital for your plants, especially since they're not getting as much energy from the sun. A good layer of mulch will ensure your plants stay hydrated and healthy, making them more resilient and productive. So, there you have it. These 3 tips, soil amendments, reflective surfaces, and mulching, will make a world of difference in your shady garden. By implementing just a few of these strategies, you'll create a thriving garden that's not only lush, but also sustainable, even without that direct sunlight. To recap, these 12 vegetables can thrive in the shade and help transform those dark garden corners into productive, lush areas. Remember, shade gardening doesn't limit your options, it opens up new possibilities. With a little care, you can have a thriving vegetable garden all year round. Now, I'd love to know, which of these vegetables are you excited to grow in your shady garden? Drop a comment below and share your gardening plans. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button, and if you're new here, make sure to subscribe for more unique gardening tips. And if you're looking for more inspiration, follow me on Instagram for daily garden updates. Thanks for watching, and happy gardening!